Alrighty. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the normal intro. Welcome back to Salazar, don't make a meme of that. Don't make a meme of that. I swear to God.
We will stand Moses Destiny Island. Welcome your host.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lyra, also known as LyricalLiven. To be honest, at the time of writing this speech, it's May 30th, 2026, at 7:49 p.m. At that time, there was 48 hours and 11 minutes left of Rec Room. I don't even know where to begin with this speech. I started playing Rec Room all the way back in October of 2018. My friend Ryan introduced me to the game, and I'm glad he did. I want to roll things back to 2017, July, really quick. Before I found out about Rec Room, I was in school. Not long since started high school. In fact, it was my taster day there. And it was great, just like how the day was great when I found out the Rec Room was shutting down. But then I came home to see my parents watching the news with a shocked and concerned look on their face. That moment, I decided to take one look at the TV, and I saw the headline that Chester Bennington, Linkin Park frontman, was pronounced dead at 41 years old, and the cause was suicide. That moment, my whole body felt cold. Emotions had left me, and to say I was numb is more than an understatement. That day is the day that I had to grow up, and I had to decide that my life, from there on out, was dedicated to mental health awareness. To see that my idol had passed away, being able to help millions, but millions couldn't help him, that broke me. I was a boy that wasn't old enough to understand that, but boy did I feel it. And now I understand that very pain greater than ever. About my mental health journey, I was disgruntled, just a kid. I had no clue how I could begin to do a justice, begin to spread Chester's message, and also chase my dream in content creation. Introducing me to the Rec Room was single-handedly the best thing that anyone has ever done for me. It is now 8 years later, a journey from ages 11 to 19 for me. And boy, what a journey it's been. The day Rec Room announced that it was shutting down, it was weirdly a normal and pretty good day. I had a great stream, VTubing being another gift that I was given thanks to this game. And then after stream, I was hanging out with my amazing community that would never have existed without Rec Room. Everything was going amazing, and that was the case until I heard Discord ping. I looked down at my phone to see an announcement. The announcement said, "Hello everyone, Rec Room will be." That's all I had to read. Once I read that far, I'd known that that was it and time was up. Immediately, I was flooded with shock, denial, anger, upset, and the fear of impending doom. Just like thousands of other players were. Since I was 11, Rec Room has been my backbone to my entire life, pushing me through not only the hardest times in my life, but giving me some of the best. And then once again, like I just said, in October 2018, my great friend Ryan introduced me to Rec Room. It was not sunshine and rainbows from there. It was a rocky road. But straight away I knew that I found a place that I could call home. 8 years on, Rec Room gave me everything I ever could have wanted from them and more. Not only did Rec Room give me the privilege to stream for an amazing community that I love with every single bit of love that I have, they gave me the opportunity to express myself through music that I grew up adoring. It gave me the opportunity to put my wildest ideas into something real. But even that's not the most. Rec Room is the place that gave me myself. I was lost for years, but I finally found myself. Myself was in Rec Room. Without Rec Room, I wouldn't be half the person that I am today. The company may have made some detrimental mistakes that inevitably caused this game to collapse. But let's look at the bigger picture. Rec Room is not just a game. Rec Room is a community, a second life, an escape and a safe place, not just for a few people, but for millions. I personally ventured many players' creations and seen stories, seen people chasing their wildest dreams the same way I did. People who turned something they love into a job. My nan once told me that you'll never work a single day in your life if you're doing something you truly enjoy. Let's go on to the amazing things that I've been able to see and take part of in this community. Without Rec Room, I never saw myself being able to do. Thank you to Corey here, and also the Death Riders, and the amazing team I have within Genelysian Nexus. I've had the amazing privilege to be able to take part in several charity events, raising loads of money, from things ranging from mental health awareness to cancer research to with Midnight Vixen 13 the other week. dementia. There's so many, these are so many things that this world truly does need help with. And there is so much I could say, but I know that no matter how much I say, nothing will fulfill how much this game truly means to me, and I'm pretty sure everyone in this room. The last thing I want to say tonight is this. Together, we have all traveled and adventured far and wide. Rec Room together. The most amazing community that all of us were blessed to have ever been a part of. And no matter what happens, these are memories that we will have for a lifetime. The truth is, Rec Room itself isn't really over, but the foundation is. Rec Room has grown way past the game. Rec Room is now the community behind it. So the last thing I want to ask all of you tonight is that no matter where you go and what you do, always make sure to give it your Rec Room best and be excellent to each other. There is always love out there. We love you. I love you. And we all love each other. This may feel like the end, but no, it's not. We now use what Rec Room taught us to become the amazing people that I know each and every single one of us are. As the great Mike Shinoda once said, the hardest part of ending is starting again. I love you all, and thank you for 8 years. Thank you for Rec Room. Thank you for introducing me to Rec Room, Ryan. Grand, thank you for the big group. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you everyone for showing up to those shows, even when we didn't quite get it right. And truly, thank you for everything. Good night.
Welcome back to Crash City. This week is a little bit different. As usual, you're kind of seeing the new style that we're doing. We're adding in where I get to just keep talking to my friends. We got LyricalLiven back. What's going on, buddy? I missed you. I always talk you up and try to push your stuff, but you actually have like a soapbox today. You got a bone to pick with somebody.
Well, I have a bone to pick with Rec Room and their, ownership and poor decisions, which a lot of people might know just caused their shutdown imminent in 12 days at the time of recording.
Which is a lot insane.
Face words.
It's
insane.
Yeah,
it's insane.
I barely learned about this game when I met you. Like, I didn't even know what was going on, and now it's gone. So first and foremost, before we get into what exactly is going on, let's kind of take a little step back and look at the bigger picture. What is Rec Room?
So Rec Room, obviously, you've got Roblox, right?
Yeah.
And it's the best way I like to describe Rec Room to new people is you've got let's say VRChat and Roblox, and they have a bit of a baby, for example, right? A baby, that's a new one.
Yeah.
Like you can create a bunch of UGC. It's a great social platform, which I believe over 150 million players in its time came through. And there was something crazy, like over 40,000 years of playtime. It's just a bunch of UGC places with creation as like the main goal. But it's actually based in a college campus and originally started in 2016 as, I don't even know, like a sports game at first, and then just it's like a massive VR hangout platform, social place. The limits were absolutely endless on Rec Room. Whatever you wanted to make, you could do it.
So the way you talk about it, the limits were endless. What exactly started the decline or downfall of Rec Room?
So, I guess for me, obviously, I started Rec Room in 2018, so I don't remember the 2016 days too well.
Mm-hmm.
But 2016 was apparently the best times, and 2018 was the best for revenue and player base, and then 2020 hit, COVID happened.
Yeah.
But during COVID, from what I can see, they have completely overspent, blown their budget of what they were valued at 3.5 billion even at some point, and had like I think 5-6 cash injections of just over 100 million. But they've shot way above their lines, refused to listen to their community time and time again, refused to listen to creators, and eventually they started giving us things that we don't want. Like when they released Rec Room Studio, so Unity to the public, right? It was great, but they failed to moderate the low quality AI slop, AI generated, or just brain rot games that pushed true hardworking creators like me and like a bunch of other people that I'm not going to mention, just pushed them down entirely off the algorithm. Then Rec Room became a second Roblox, essentially. That's kind of the start of it.
When you say a second Roblox, what do you mean by that? Do you mean and this is my personal opinion about Roblox. I know a lot of people share my opinion. but the kind of cash grab slop that Roblox is.
Oh yeah.
Is that what this turned into?
Yeah, it became completely cash grabby, very AI. The creator area became really shitty, to be honest, because it was all about money. It was not about caring about people anymore. And it was in the end just putting a bad image on Rec Room, but yet they refused to do anything about it until it was way too late.
Okay. So that's fair, because when I hear, hey, this game is shutting down, this studio shutting down, blah blah blah. We just had, I can't even think about it. Salazar put it up, the one that Erebus was hyping, High Guard or something like that. You know, you get surprised when these games shut down, but then when you meet somebody who actively is not only working with the company but also doing different events or doing different live streams or charity events, it feels a little different. This one feels a little bit more real world. And maybe that's just because we're friends and I can see your passion and how much it hurts you that this is going away. Where do you think, because you said you had theories when we were talking off camera, what theories that you can talk about as to why this game is shutting down?
Well, obviously there's the whole money situation. It's no secret. VR after COVID has collapsed. We've seen Meta Horizon Worlds, which Meta put like 78 billion into. That's gone under. They've got rid of that. VRChat a few years ago was seen struggling for money, and they now are valued at about 80 million, with their last cash injection publicly being 80 million in 2021.
Yeah.
But then I completely forgot the question. I'm so sorry.
No, it's just your theory. That's all it is like we're just having a normal conversation. Yeah, it really is, dude, because I feel so sorry for you, man. And I mean, like, I'll see the stuff that you post on Discord, and I will check in on your streams from time to time. You probably see me on TikTok when you play, and I'm just like, you know, we all have our games. Like, we all have our niches that we genuinely need for our mental health. So to see one of my friends lose something that they care about, and it goes into where it's kind of weird in the way that I'm seeing this, because I'm like, you know, how many more people are being affected by this that don't have platforms, that don't stream, that don't have social media, which is rare these days, but it does happen. And now they've lost their lighthouse. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think my two answers would be, like, as for my theory, I think Rec Room just didn't adapt to the new times, you know, and then they started giving the community things they didn't want, such as the full body avatars. I don't have a problem with them. But it was about the fact that there was no full body tracking. It just felt very out of place, very unfinished, very weird. It was too pushed in our faces. And then there was nothing wrong with the old bean body, which was like, you know, the little bean, I guess, that just a floating head, arms, body, right? There was nothing wrong with it. It might have been a little optimized. But they forced it onto the community that, hey, we're going to change this and get rid of the old one. It turned out to be that was for UGC, which people loved. But they lost half the community in doing that because some people still wanted the old bean. And they just didn't adapt to the money. They were paying out way too big to some creators that frankly didn't deserve it. And just constant bad decisions, and then forcing AI onto this is one that really, really pissed me off. And I would never shit talk Rec Room while it was around, but now I kind of have to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they forced AI into what is called the Maker Pen, which is the in-game creation tool, right? Where you could say, hey, Maker AI, do this. And it would just spawn this perfectly strung together piece of circuits for you, which they were blowing like 4 million a month on for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, and it was crappy. And well, no one liked it. They got rid of it and then started dumping the same amount of money into this stupid pet called Roomy that, to be fair, nobody liked. It was called for what, a week before they would tell users off for saying bad stuff, but then Roomy would go ahead and say a racial slur. And I kid you not, this is true.
I believe it.
When they could have been investing their money into the severe hacker situation that Rec Room has, where there's this constant script as hackers. Eventually, within the last 2 months of Rec Room, they have tried to make an anti-cheat and failed miserably. Like, I've honestly seen EA try to stop making paywalls more successful than that. As for how the community feels,
I agree to that. I feel that.
I hate EA too. I could make a whole episode on that. But no, as for how the community feels, there's a lot of, obviously we done a sleep token show today, which we don't personally know if that's our last event on Rec Room yet, because we don't want it to be, but it's, do we have the time? Can we get through another event without a hacker? We don't know.
Yeah.
But I've gone around Rec Room and the Rec Room revive called Radium, which is like a copied version of a very old Rec Room, right?
Yeah.
And the community is just like, since the announcement, there's been less people online. People have been more dry. It's been like a feeling of impending doom, like wars just kicked off or wars just ended. You know, when I was giving my end of show speech today, like, you know, people are like, oh, don't make me cry. And like, there's people who are just so distraught, so upset. And the bad part is, like, this game has been life-changing for not only me, but thousands of people. You know, people made jobs and everything out of this. And they're just here looking, well, the last payout of Rec Room has just been paid out a few days ago, I'm pretty sure, or it's going to be on June 1st. I'm not even sure anymore because I'm at a lack of communication at this point. But like, there's these creators like feeling, well, what do we do now? You know, I'm looking like, well, also what does my community do? You know, we need money to go to VRChat, but the money we used on VRChat and the money I used for my streams all came from what I did on Rec Room. Oh, and one last thing that really, really, really ruined Rec Room, I think, is charity events, which sounds so weird because I remember the first time I was doing the first time I spoke to you, I was doing something called the Valley.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, the first time I did a charity event in Rec Room, I was using my Ko-Fi to split it 50-50 between Mind UK and Linkin Park's One More Light Fund, which is for natural disaster survival, mental health, a bunch of things, right? But because they didn't understand who it was going through, they had a problem with it. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's understandable. Maybe that's fine. But then early this year, March the 20th, I think it was just after the Valley, I did one of those fundraisers officially through Mind UK entirely, and our map gets taken down for it because, oh, there's a link in your map to raise money.
Yeah.
Which they say they wanted Rec Room to be this all great platform and you can escape where great things can happen. But yet, how can great things happen when you're restricting people from doing a charity event? And it's just all these crappy things that bring creators down, ruin the community, and just them straight neglecting the original community. It became more of a console AI slop game than a VR game, which isn't right for the people who've been here since, well, 2016, 2018. They just neglected it entirely, I think.
So where are you going to go? Like, what are you going to do, man? Like, and the best part is I have to say, I thank Salazar for linking us up. And, you know, the new Discord that we made for Crash City, where we have a ton of different people that all like to make content so we can all help each other. But like, what game are you going to go to now?
I mean, obviously, there's my streaming, which I'm a variety streamer, right? Which my streaming does help Nexus. Yeah. But at the same time, well, I've looked at obviously all the Rec Room revives, like Radium, like Vanilla, like, oh God, there's like hundreds of them now. But the truth is, half of those are run by teenagers. You know, there's no money in them, meaning those will probably shut down soon enough because Rec Room assets are actually bought by Snapchat, which is another reason I think it's shut down. It was so random. It made no sense. But all these Rec Room revives, they won't survive. You know, as for Roblox, well, Jesus Christ, I'm not taking people over there.
Yeah, no.
You know, that's a worse mental health crisis.
Yeah.
Don't even need to talk about Schlep. And then as for VRChat, like, okay, VRChat's great. It's good. But, and if anyone who follows us on VRChat, I am so sorry to say this, but people have a genuine lack of responsibility in VRChat. It's constantly sexualized, constantly. It doesn't matter if you're in a, you know, all ages instance or in a non-age gated or what. There's always some sort of naked person doing some sexual thing or just racism. And it's, people say Rec Room was bad. At least they try to moderate. VRChat, it's a joke, really. Like, do they give you a decent amount of control? Yes. But also at the same time, it feels like VRChat do nothing to support their creators already. I already see the same signs in VRChat that I did in Rec Room. And in VRChat, the economy is very player-made. It's all through Patreon and Ko-Fi and stuff. And like, that's great. But it's expensive to make a VRChat world. It's expensive to learn these things and commission someone to help us transfer our maps. So it's like, VRChat's our best opportunity. But at the same time, is it worth the risk? You know, like
Yeah.
there's so many things you got to think about, but you think about it, and then there's nowhere else you can actually go. It's Roblox or VRChat now. Rec Room added that nice bit of variety, and then you had Alt Space, but I believe Alt Space is gone. And it's almost like the shittier platform won, because if some people, I'm not going to directly say it, but if some people search up the VRChat community leader Tupper, oh, there is so much bad about his name. It's terrible.
It's crazy to hear this, man. Like, I know I keep saying that, but it is, dude, because I'm seeing people get taken, something that you deeply care about that's helped you so much to grow as a creator is being taken away. And it's crazy for like somebody like me. Like, I play games, but I play, like you said, variety games. If Marvel Rivals shut down tomorrow, I mean, yeah, it's gonna hurt, but I'll just go to a different game. But you know, I'm not really a gaming content creator, so it kind of gives me anxiety for you, where I'm like, man, you know, that was your bread and butter, that was your thing.
Yeah, like Rec Room, it gave me everything. Like, honestly, and I said this at the show today, it was life changing. Like, obviously, I think I mentioned my inspiration was Chester passing away when I was quite young. And it was when I found Rec Room. One of my friends, oh, Ryan, if you're watching this, hi. Like, he told me about Rec Room all the way back in 2018. And I looked at it and I started playing a little bit. And, you know, I was trying to make things and they would never really stick, you know. So Genelysian Nexus was born all the way in 2018. But nothing would really stick until about 2019, 2020. I started integrating with more groups and putting myself out there. And then boom, we just do a random funny dance lip sync concert. Atlas Boobier from Rec Room, or I think that's how you say his name, a developer joins, and then boom, the instance is full, and it's been incredible since then. But like, without Rec Room, I wouldn't have become a VTuber. I wouldn't have anything I have on VRChat. I wouldn't know 90% of the people I do today. You know, it's like, it's weird because where do you go without it? You know, it's like, it was my anchor. It was like my fallback. It was my safe space, and now it's gone. You know, there'll be nothing like it.
I understand that, man, and it sucks to hear that, especially because you love this thing, and I mean, in a way, you can be grateful for what it did give you, because it gave you the opportunity to do all these amazing things. When it comes to June 1st, you know, the servers are going to be shut down. It's over. You know what is going to be your first thought?
Honestly, because I'm going to be live when that happens, you know, because that's the moment I want to share with everyone. Like, as much as I need it for myself, I feel also I shouldn't hide it away, you know, because hiding your pain, I see why people do it, but I want to show people that it's okay. But like, it was kind of today at the show that actually hit me like, shit, this is really over. This is genuinely it. You know, I was struggling to get through the last few songs. I couldn't even talk properly at the end. Like,
I get you. I get you. I get you. It's all good here.
I think I'm just, I think my first thought is as well, what now? What's next? Because the only thing I'm holding on to is hoping my model is so uncalibrated. Can we stop tilting my head? No, the only thing we're holding on to is like, well, do my streams make enough, and does the community love us enough to help us get through this? I guess that's the only thing we can think of, because I'll be honest, it's not been pretty behind the scenes. I've not been, I don't say it, but I've not been highly optimistic in myself for once, you know.
And that's fair, man. That's why I like I said, man, like, you know, we barely started this new the group only Discord thing, and that's for, you know, people to connect and be able to meet and be able to work and collab together and do all sorts of stuff. And that's the point, where I don't want any of my friends to feel like, oh shit, where do I go next? It's more of like, hey, you don't know where you're going, we're gonna help you until you kind of know where you're going. And it's weird to hear like, hey, yeah, this whole platform is gone, which, like I said, to me, as somebody who doesn't make gaming content, it hurts, but it's not. And I play a lot of like mostly single player games anyways. So to see, you know, your options dwindle to either you play Roblox, which is bad, or you play VRChat, which is just as bad, then it goes,
Yeah.
it's like there's not any other option. You know, what do you say? What have you started warning your community about? Like, hey, we'll figure this out, or are you just telling them like it's going to be a bumpy ride for a little bit?
See, I'll be honest, and I hate to say it, I haven't really said much other than join the Discord, we'll post an update, because like we do have we wanted to be both Rec Room and VRChat by 2029. And that's something we were working towards. But our VRChat stuff is going to be more focused towards the 18 plus side. And we were slowly working on that. And I'm also working with a beautiful staff team who I'm sure might end up seeing this, who own a group called the Content Creator Hub. Well, I own it currently alongside Playtendo. And it's got like 17,000 people in it. It's all TikTok creators and stuff like that of VRChat. And that's great. But I notice people over there a lot more prefer just 18 plus stuff, again, because the lack of control when it comes to being sexualized, I guess. And
yeah,
like my whole worry is like, obviously a lot of people watching might think it's a game, but oh my God. Excuse me, a lot of talking today. A lot of people out there think it's a game, but like for millions of people that played it over the years, it's more than a game. This is like their second life and a new reality and like a place for them to actually be themselves and be comfortable, you know. And like there's literally one of the first songs you hear in Rec Room when you load in is called Welcome Home. And it, for a lot of people, it was a home, you know, like I had people coming into our hangout, so I went to other people's places and I just hear stuff like, this is my safe space, this is my home, you know, this feels like a family to me. And it's that I worry for, because there's these people that on console, they can't access VRChat, and Roblox is not as diverse for this sort of stuff. And it's just, a lot of people are going to lose a lot of friends. I'm going to lose a lot of connections, you know, like it's almost as if like the god of the world has just picked it up, put it in like a snow globe and just shook it really hard and then hit it with a sledgehammer and see where things go. It's devastating, you know.
How many times have you cried already?
Twice today.
I believe it. I believe it. Like, you're safe here, man. You're safe. I got you. But yeah, it's life can be very shitty at times, and we've all dealt with it. I mean, I could not imagine not having the games or the anime that shaped my life, which is, I mean, 10 years ago, that'd be weird to say. Now it's like, no, we grew up with these things like Kingdom Hearts, man. That is going to always be my comfort. That's my second home. That's my home away from reality, where if I'm having a bad day, I restart and I will get back to it. I know that nothing comes to an end. It just changes different forms, and your friends are your strength. But like for you guys, I know you guys are worried. Hey man, we're gonna lose our connections. Then, you know, the easiest thing I could say, if you haven't already figured it out by how I am, is don't. You know, don't. As long as if you guys can't work together for a game for 6 months or a year, just keep each other in contact. Do all that kind of stuff. Until the next game does come out. Or, I mean, even if it doesn't, even if like, you know, you don't get a VR game, you know, you guys can still collab and do stuff. It's just, it's going to be harder. It is going to be harder. I mean, but you can't let the people that are shutting this game down win. And that's how they'll win, is by seeing the community disperse and in shambles. If it really was for money, then they win.
Yeah.
I know that, like I said, you should have already figured this out by since we've been friends for a few months. I have this weird thing of loyalty where I don't want my friends, they won't ever fall because I don't care what we have to do, we'll get you up there. So I know you're hurting right now, dog. We're good. You got it. We'll do whatever. I will help whenever, whatever kind of content you need. And I hate to say it, even if I have to stay up, because I know that you are 7 hours ahead of me, which sucks so much sometimes.
Oh, trust me, it's 2 a.m. I love this right now.
I hate this so. I hated that morning episode. Loved meeting you. Hated getting up because I was like, yeah, I'll go to bed early. Didn't do that. So I was like,
yeah,
shit.
you stayed up all night.
It always happens. I was so tired. But it's where you're gonna go from here, man. And you know,
yeah,
that all those people that probably did join your Discord or are here because they're, you know, a lost soul. Like, what are you gonna do to try to? Are you looking at non-VR games now that you can try and build something? Like, I know you said Roblox, but I don't consider Roblox anything but evil. Like, any other games are you considering?
Obviously, there's a whole VRChat thing that we definitely are trying to explore the avenue of, because there's a high demand for it, you know, and we originated in VR, and we're going to stay in VR until, you know, it's impossible.
Okay.
But we actually recently did one of our staff members, Dragonphil, who, oh my God, he's like 38 from Northern Ireland. He's been with us for way too long, but I wouldn't want him gone. He actually we was talking about a Minecraft server, right? One time. And it's something that the community wanted, you know, but we didn't have the money to do it. And, you know, I was considering, you know, we could do it in 2026, but then Rec Room's like, yeah, we're shutting down and we don't have the money to do it now. I'm like, oh, great. And out of nowhere, Dragonphil is like, you know what? For £6.50, which is like $8 a month, right? He opened a Minecraft realm, which can only have like 10 people in it concurrently, but as many people can join at different times as they want. And that's been a big hit, you know, and that's great. I think the only part of it is like, without sounding greedy, you know, we have to kind of find a way for the stuff that we put out to also generate a bit of money to help us keep things going. Because we do want to make an actual Minecraft server that can have as many people in it as they want, you know, that we can properly moderate, that we put the right tools in. And, you know, Minecraft's been a great one. VRChat will be another nice one. What would be epic, what would be absolutely amazing is, and I wish I had like a whole studio to do this, is make our own social platform, you know, with our own servers and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a possibility one day? Maybe like 15 years down the line. You know, I mean, as you say, I'm still young.
Oh, yeah.
I think right now it's just about trying to stay stable, trying to make sure we're spending the money we have wisely, and just staying consistent with content, and I guess being transparent with the community. Or, well, I say being transparent. It's not that I don't have anything to tell them, it's that I don't know what to tell them. You know, because right now, everything from Rec Room is sitting on my PC. It's been exported, which I'm grateful that they've allowed us to do that. It's just none of them are functional now because it relied off Rec Room systems.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, yeah.
No, that's a leader role, dude. That's a leader role right there.
Yeah.
Is like, you don't always have to have the right answer. You don't always have to know or have to be the guy that everybody goes, hey, yeah, ask Lyvan. Lyvan knows. Lyvan doesn't have to know every single moment. Like, that's the part about being a leader.
I'll be honest, there's some things I get asked.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at it. I'm like, what in the actual fuck did you just ask me? In what language? And it turns out it's something I've done like 12 times before. Like, our staff have been doing for months. I'm like, oh, wait. I didn't even know that was a thing.
And
but like,
it happens.
It's a weird misconception. Because like, as much as, yeah, do I own it? Yeah. It's very, I guess a lot of people they never pay enough attention to the staff members. Because like, we've got, as of right now, let's see, a staff team of around 45. Used to be around 50. But we've lost a few of Rec Room shutting down. But like, I feel like with these bigger creators, no one ever credits like the people behind the scenes that you don't get to see as much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think another thing that's weird is like being the entertainer, you know, the streamer and like the main one who's always on stage, and everything like that. But then also 2 seconds later, I could be reviewing your staff application or having to moderate. And that's a really weird part about leadership, I guess. It's like, you're seen as this idol person, but then next thing you know, you might have to be telling that same person who idolizes you off. It's super weird. That's one thing I've never got used to yet, because I always feel bad. I'm like, oh, but I'm so kind, but then I have to enforce rules. I'm too lenient sometimes.
It happens. And it's like, I like what you guys thought, though, is, eventually having your own platform, having something that you guys can, where you can have Minecraft servers that have so many people, or you can do this, or you can do that, which now you have my American brain running where I'm like, I think we could, but it'd take like a lot of shit to do it. But I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like, there is a way. I don't know how, but there is a way. But it's just, it's moving forward. It's also, you're right. And you shouldn't feel bad. You shouldn't say greedy. You shouldn't do any of that when you say like, hey, we need any move that we make now has to generate so that we can not only keep doing it, but we can also get these players back that we have lost, because these aren't just players. These are your friends.
Yeah, definitely. It's the things at Rec Room, it has left me at a loss for words, because it's a lot of the bigger Rec Room YouTubers, they've described it as just betrayal, and like, honestly, it feels that way, because like, they claim to be this big indie company that was like just so nice, so sweet, and it's, oh, join the fun for free, or the best VR social platform, but then often telling big lies to creators, or just banning and taking stuff down without any context. Like one of our biggest maps one time just disappeared off the face of the earth. I didn't find out till 3 days later. It's because of a piece of art that we censored swearing on it, but they still banned it because there was swearing there in the first place. And I'm like, so because of a single drawing, you take down our whole map?
Yeah.
Eventually we got it back, but then there's the other lie they told, like saying, oh, well, like when they laid off their 50% of staff about a year ago now, they said, oh, well, what about our financial situation? Well, we're quite strong on money right now. We could easily make it to 2029 on the current track course we're on. We laid off some staff to make this easier. We laid off some staff to focus on this and that. And then all of a sudden, like, that they announced March 30th, they're shutting down. And for me, it's weird because they were focusing more on UGC this year. They were trying to work on a new anti-cheat. They upgraded from Unity 2022 to Unity 6000, which is like, wow, that was great for creators. But then all of a sudden, the second that changes come, oh, we're shutting down. And then it turns out Snapchat's bought assets for some weird spectacle glasses game XR thing. And I'm like, what? Why does Snapchat need Rec Room for any reason? It never makes, like, no matter how much you think about it, it doesn't make sense,
They were
the shutdown came out of
upgrading.
nowhere, but it feels planned.
They were upgrading to sell. Is clearly this way. The wrong buyer bought it, but they were upgrading to sell. Like that's the clear. I've seen it happen in other industries where companies will, oh, hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna cut. We're gonna lay off staff. We're gonna make sure that all of our loyal people are still here and blah blah blah. And we're gonna basically make life better. And then you realize, oh, you were getting ready to sell the entire time. Like that's it.
Yeah.
So, damn.
It was 67% of their staff in the end that ended up getting laid off. And then now, I'm not sure. Like, the only other staff member I see active in the Rec Room Discord now is Gribbly, and he's one of the CEOs of Rec Room, which is like, but the even worse part is like, he seems disappointed. Like, he released one more how-to Rec Room video, which is like their tutorials of how to do this in creation, how to do that, for like starting out people. It's how you export your maps. But he was not himself. He sounded so down and so depressed, like as if he didn't want this to happen either. It's like the community, like the one last good thing that Rec Room could do for us is just be fucking honest. Instead of telling all these bullshit corporate lies, be honest. Why? Because we were all under the impression that it was fine. It was going good. Even Steam or Valve prepared Rec Room to be fully compatible with the new Steam frame that's coming out this year without costing Rec Room a single penny. So it's like, not only have they lied to the community, they've lied to the creators, which is the backbone of Rec Room. They've lied to who they thought were their well, not even who they thought, who are their staff. There's a developer video called Emily Waffles. She made a video, saying, well, she's surprised, and she doesn't even like where Rec Room is now. She's on the same standpoint as the community, which is insane to me.
No,
when you really look at it, it was such a crappy. It was a great game and a great concept, but it almost feels like the people who run it are just such crappy, such terrible people when you look at it in the bigger picture. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one. I know I am.
No, you're fine. You're here. I'm an American. He could say it. He has my freedom of speech. I give it to you for this episode. It comes down to just to capitalism, to business, and I can see where, okay, the more that you're telling me, because I walked in blind not knowing what's going on, and I'm starting to put the pieces together. Okay, cool. They wanted to sell, or maybe a majority of the board wanted to sell, because if you say the CEO is acting pretty out of it and pretty disappointed, that means that
he's not the CEO, but he's one of the owners.
Oh, so
the official CEO is like Nick Bagit, something like that.
That works. I mean, that still works too, is where outruled, majority vote is what I can see. And, it just came down to, oh, somebody wants to buy it. Hopefully we can still keep the game up. Oh, Snapchat bought it, which doesn't make any sense. And then bam.
Oh yeah, no, it really doesn't.
Now you're losing this. And for a lot of you guys, it's painful and it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, very.
And probably the biggest question I'm going to ask throughout from this entire episode, from everything we've recorded, what would hurt more? Learning the truth and it being everything you thought, or not learning and just saying it's dead?
Jesus Christ.
I know I'm good with questions.
I think, wow. That has to be the best question I've ever heard you ask. Wow.
It hurts,
I think,
man. It hurts.
I've always been someone for the truth, I'm not gonna comment my thoughts on certain things, but with the whole Chester Bennington situation, I wanted to know the truth on it.
Mm-hmm.
And when the whole controversy with Linkin Park's new singer Emily Armstrong came around, I wanted to know the truth. And I'm always about being incredibly truthful with my community and with my stuff, so if I don't have all the answers, I tend to pry until I piece them together myself, which is what I've been doing. And I think for me, it might just give me peace of mind knowing the truth. But then I also wouldn't believe it at the same time because of the amount of lies they've told.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if it was guaranteed the truth, if it was probably going to be a lie, then just think, yeah, that shit's dead.
And that's a good way to look at it, is because the worst truth that they could give you is, hey, we just retired. Then it hurts more, because it's like you just got rid of all of this, everything that you've built, everything, because they retired. And that would suck to hear that. That would be,
yeah.
The Rec Room community, whatever people still are there, would be having the pitchforks and the torches and ready to cuss out every person on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, finding their socials, hunting them down. All this is if they just came out and they were like, bam. And if that was their truth, that's their truth. And that's something you guys have to live with. And that's where it gets so shitty in this situation, where it's like, man, is it better to just say goodbye and I'll see you again? I'll see a different version of you hopefully one day, or you learn the truth and you're like, man, this just breaks my heart more. And it's just what we got to deal with in life. And I really feel bad for you, especially when Salazar told me, he was like, the first time Salazar told me was, I think it was like
Oof.
like a few weeks. It had to be a few weeks or something after we did our recording is when he first told me like, "Hey, the game's shutting down."
It wasn't very long.
And I was like, "I just barely met. Like we just barely became homies, and now the game's gone." And then,
Yeah.
you hit me up. We tried to do it. Life was saying no. Then now,
Yeah.
so that's why I made like time today. I was like, no, we got to get it done. I got to let him have his time to talk, to you know, if you wanted to scream into your mic, I would let you. I don't really care. Just give me a warning so I could take these off, and it would come out to that. But what else do you have to say? I want you to take this moment. I'm going to give you this moment, and I'm going to let you say whatever you need to, because, you know, obviously it's pre-recorded. Salazar's got our back, but I just want to hear, what does your heart say?
I don't know, because like deep down, I still love the game and everything it did, you know, and I had to be the most forgiving person when it came to Rec Room and their stuff, you know, when they laid off the first 17%. Community started dropping out of Rec Room, moving to VRChat, and I was like, no, I'll stay. 50% got laid off. I was like, no, we'll stay. This is where we belong, you know, this is it. You know, and it's the lies that they've told that have ruined potentially lives of, well, millions of people, to be fair. Because we're beginning to get to an age in a world now where a virtual world and an actual virtual reality isn't that far off. People are making genuine jobs and genuine lives and building their personalities and just themselves as a person in general online, which there's nothing wrong with it because it makes the world more universal. But the constant disregard and neglect towards the community was beyond a joke. The lies is ruining people's lives. But then it's not just that, it's the disregard towards safety. You know, Rec Room would often preach, and you know what? I would even preach that Rec Room is very safe. But now there's all these things coming to light, and this is going to get controversial, but they were certified by a certain company for child safety. But yet there was several pedophiles, huge pedophiles on this game, that are still there to this day, making it onto people like BVR's videos. And BVR, if you're seeing this, I don't hate you at all. You're an amazing creator. Not your fault. You didn't know. But like getting it onto his videos and just then videos of Therapeutic, who is a huge Rec Room creator, but abusing her power just because she doesn't like someone, you know. And that's this whole pedophile thing. There was this person who I'm not going to name, but I'll be honest. When I was younger, around 14, 15, came after me, some of my friends. He was insane. And he got reported to Rec Room time and time again. To other hangout places as well, just in general. What did Rec Room do? Nothing. Who was the one who took the punishment? Us. Because we reported him. Apparently it was witch hunting. You know, they would literally have something like, oh, yeah, well, if something illegal happens on our game, we're not liable. Well, I'm sorry. You're like certified to be safe for kids. But at the same time, you gave into Meta to remove junior accounts, which is what was keeping most of people under 13 safe. So why the hell would you do that? You know, you giving into so many crazy things, you know, just allowing this to happen on your game where you had a volunteer mod application, just normal standard creators that would love to help out the game. People constantly ask me, mods, sorry, we're not opening applications right now. We're not opening them. It's time and time again. You know, people who would genuinely love to help moderate this game. And the moderation level was next to none. But yet they released AI voice moderation a few years back, which was the biggest failure known to mankind. Like, beyond a joke. Like, honestly, Philip Coutinho's soccer career was better than this shit. Like, you'd have some random guy saying the F slur, the N word, and just being the most disgusting person known to man. And yet, I'd accidentally cuss once or twice, or I'd defend myself against a homophobic person in a crowd. Oh, sorry, you're banned because you've been derogatory. What about that person? Nothing. It's like, the game was just becoming a very bad place. It's whoever brought in the most money. It wasn't about the quality. It wasn't about the love of the game anymore. It was just all about money. And then Room AI, like, is the only good AI thing that they did, but neglected it, didn't help creators enough. You know, they had so much potential and still do have a lot of potential. There are buyers that, oh, wait. Yeah, this is public enough. I had to think. There are people who want to buy Rec Room. I'm not going to reveal who, but big offers for more than $1 billion have allegedly been put in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Declined. Like, but why? You know, they're not even buying the full thing. Snapchat owns half of it. You know, and another thing we'd love some transparency on. When the fuck did Snapchat buy this? Why do they need it? Snapchat aren't answering questions. You know, why is it these big corporate companies are allowed to do what the fuck they want that's probably against the law, probably have trillions in debt, just get away with it? You know, and Rec Room went that way. They had a partnership with Sony at some point to do with Destiny, and it was great. But they just blown all the money on it. They decided to bring in music artists that, okay, great. They were amazing music artists, but nobody knew them. They had the money to bring in amazing people that would have loved to help the game, but just brought in people that nobody knew. Did it help their career? Yes. Messed up Rec Room even more. You know, again, AI, like, why are we doing it? What, just, like, AI can be useful if you use it the right way, but using it to replace creators, Jesus, there must have been, like, at least 3,000 creators that just ditched Rec Room at that very point. You know, it's one of the only games that creation was accessible to everyone. Whether you're on a phone, whether you're on a Switch, whether you're on a PlayStation, Xbox, PC, no matter what you're on, you could create. You could start your career as a creator and earn money. But they got rid of this, and nowhere else has it. What? Roblox? And it's impossible to get discovered on there.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's... They had so much potential and they just had to go and fuck it up. But if they didn't just be so greedy, cut their costs a little bit, oh, Christ, if they were really in that bad of a financial difficulty, which, excuse me, they're not, they're still worth $1 fucking billion. But, you know, and that's public information. If they were really in that bad of a financial difficulty, take a bit of an extra cut from what you give to creators. They were preaching about, oh, we're having some financial problems, but we're paying out creators $1 million a month. Put it by 3%.
Mm-hmm.
Might not be the nicest thing in the world, but it helps them. You know? What does Twitch do when they need a bit more money? What does any big company do? And can you really fault them?
No.
It's a free-to-use platform. You know, what would have fixed the whole underage problem? They were complaining, oh, we have too many underage users on our platform. Make the game paid. Do what Roblox do. Ask for ID. If you think a user's underage, take the report seriously instead of just, oh, we're timing you out for 1 hour. Yeah, because they're going to get 3 years older in an hour, aren't they? They were the most incompetent company, the most scummy group of people, lazy, ruining careers, so many fucking things. Oh, and the disrespect towards charity, yeah, they lost me on that one. They can seriously go fuck themselves. I didn't say anything about it then, but now, yeah, no. I genuinely hope that CEO never gets to run a community again. I hope he can run a toilet paper company, the sack of shit.
No, I wanted this. I wanted you to be able to have a chance to say what you want that's outside of your normal content. Of course, love talking to you. This is what you deserve, man. Like, I 100%, you are the homie. You don't deserve this, and it really does suck. It sucks entirely. Not hopefully, but when we talk again, we get to talk about the fun stuff. We get to talk about the World Cup the next time that we'll be on.
Oh, yes.
We are going to do that because you are going to be surprised at what country that I favor, and I'm not going to be surprised at what country you favor. So, because I assume...
I think you will.
Really? Well, so the next
time... I don't
time...
favor up my fucking country. Ain't no way.
Yeah, I don't go for the US, so it's fair. What is one last thing that you want to say, not only to Rec Room, if they see that, if we get to collab, if we get to do anything with them, but also
Wow.
to the fan base, to your friends, to your people, to the people that we are going to try and push this episode out so at least your voice is heard somewhere. What is one last thing you want to say about your journey in Rec Room?
Well, as much as I loved it throughout the years and it changed my life, I wouldn't be where I am without it. You guys seriously fucked up. It doesn't mean that we won't appreciate Rec Room for everything that you guys did for us, but you guys got to know when enough is enough. And you guys try to fix it, it was way too late. But for those of you that are just normal players or creators of Rec Room, you know, we built something incredible over there. And it's going to be harder to do it again. You know, God knows where we do it. But once you do, just make sure you, as Marissa said, give it your Rec Room best and just be excellent to each other. And, you know, for people in Genelysian Nexus, no matter what happens, we'll always be here at some capacity. You know, a community this strong, whether it's Rec Room, whether it's Genelysian Nexus, whether it's the Death Riders or any of the other great people we've worked with, these communities are so strong that we won't be broken apart. It's just we might have to find each other again. And there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Every positive thought takes you towards it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, obviously this was the homie. We had our talk about Rec Room. Unfortunately, Rec Room will be coming to an end May 30th, June 1st. I'm sorry for everybody who is losing their safe spot. You always have a safe spot here in the city. You always have a safe spot with Lyvan. You have a safe spot with all those people. And we will see each and every one of you in our next episode. Bye. That was this week's interview. Obviously, you had to have loved it because you stayed towards the end, and we really appreciate that. But please hit the subscribe button. Like, comment, even share. Helps me and helps my guests. And if you want to stay here a little bit longer, we have previous weeks where we interviewed some of the most best people on this planet. Plus, you can head over to the Crash Pad where you can see me, Erebus V, and It's Bacon just mark out on some wrestling. Whether you want to get into wrestling or already been a fan for years, come and see our reactions. You never know what you're going to get.